what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 98, volume 5 of Western North Carolina's most underrated podcast. We are a big fan. My name is Chad East, and I'm a big fan of watching my daughter play soccer on the same soccer field I played on 30 years ago at good old Hickory High School Stadium. Now it's known as, doesn't it have a name? Hank? The high school
soccer one?
No, the turf. That's where they played yet last night. On the real turf, the real
Eldersfield?
Eldersfield, yes. Yeah. So it's Coach David Elderfield. I thought it had another name too. Anyway, Coach David Elderfield. Also pulling out my racquetball racket from the cobwebs of 18 years of dust and starting to play again.
All right.
Yes. And last but not least, my neighbor, Erica Rowland's sourdough bread.
Boo.
Have you tasted this? She's a phenomenal chef. She can bake
it's
all
really
kinds of stuff. So the first one I ever tasted was jalapeno sourdough bread.
Very good.
Wonderful.
Yep.
The one we got last week was just plain old sourdough bread.
Yeah.
Still a 10,
Sure.
a perfect 10. Yes. I heard she makes a cinnamon one.
She does.
Have you tried that one?
I have.
You probably tried them all, haven't you?
I've tried them all.
Yeah. Favorite sourdough bread?
The cinnamon one's pretty good.
Yeah.
Because you can toast it and have it for breakfast. It's
Sure.
pretty good. So we took it on a mountain trip not too long ago.
Okay.
All right.
Erica, keep it up.
My name's Hank. Hank fan. My name's Hank Eimer, and I am not a big fan of watching the planet implode over the primaries. Staring out at my grass and seeing uneven growth, which leads to having to mow my grass. I can't start, Chad. I don't want to start.
Don't do it.
And having to negotiate with my elderly dog to come back in the house at 11 p.m. so I can go to sleep. Not a big fan.
Let's start there with the dog stuff. So my dog is famous for going, and it's always at 3:30 in the morning. 3:30 in the morning, you hear downstairs. He's clawing on the door. He wants to go out. He don't want to go out to pee. He just goes out there to kind of hang out.
Look
around and I think maybe drink beer, smoke ciggies.
Yeah.
But it's always at 3:30, so I do it. I feel bad for him because I was like, what if he really does have to pee? I don't want him to suffer. So I've let him out he's just about 2 weeks in a row he's been doing this. So
Every night for 2 weeks?
Every night.
Yeah, you got to shut that down.
So Jennifer was like, you can't do it anymore. So last night, I just let him suffer. And he just wanted to hang. He was fine. No pee, no nothing in the house. Just wanted to go outside.
Yeah.
Is your dog simpler, but not 3:30? He's more of an 11 o'clock in the evening kind of
Chad, I'm the
scratcher.
master of my domain. Okay, so no dog's going to rule my house.
Dog's running your life.
So when my dog gets up in the middle of the night, I don't know it does.
Gotcha.
I have no idea. Now I will tell you, about 10 or so, I'll let the dog out to go to the bathroom, and she'll sit at the door, and I'll go, all right, you gotta go to the bathroom. And she'll go out there and she'll just stand.
Yes.
Like she done, just like Koa. Just wants to chill.
Just looking around.
Smell around,
Yes.
and just doesn't want to miss anything. Yes. So, I understand. But the 3:30 thing, see, my mom does the same thing. My mom's cat, I'd kill this cat. It whines and meows and claws at her head and everything, so she'll let her out.
Yes.
And it just wants to go hang out. And 30 minutes later, it's outside her door. Meowing,
wanting to get back in.
Yeah.
So what happened 2 nights ago is I let Koa out, and I fell asleep waiting for him on the couch. And then at 4:45, I hear Jennifer coming because he was barking, and I slept right through it. She coming down the stairs,
Chad.
opens the door. What's Koa doing out here? I'm like, I'm sorry, I just didn't hear him.
Yeah.
And so this is pretty funny. Koa is he looks kind of like a lion. He's got a lot of hair, like a little mane. And so what he does, he walks outside, and I watch him. It just trips me out. And he's like Simba on Pride Rock. Like, he just does like this and surveys his land.
Yeah.
I just want to scream, hello, lion, every time he does it, because he does the same thing with that lion mane.
This is my quarter acre.
Exactly. I own this place. Don't mess with me. But anyway, no more 3:30 in the mornings. Promise.
Nice. Well, that's good. Well, that's good to hear. Well, walk me down.
Yeah.
Your daughter,
Yes.
playing Lucy Rose, which is good because she hadn't played soccer in a year or two. Oh, no, she played last year. Got hurt.
She plays travel, but she got hurt. She played for Grandview last year.
But she got hurt,
didn't play.
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the big question was, Hank, we're now in high school where sports are just different. You know, you can't just come and go as you please. You got to go to practice. You got to put the time in if you want to be part of the team. But, you know, she dances a lot, too.
Yeah.
And so.
Phenomenal dancer.
Really good dancer.
Yeah.
Really, really good dancer. And so talked to the coach, and this was about, did we talk about this conversation about a month ago?
We have, not on.
Okay, not on the
Big
podcast. And so we were doing the walkthrough second semester. Girls soccer takes place second semester, and before the walkthrough, that's when the kids walk through to see where their classes are. I was like, Lucy, it's time. If you want to play soccer, you need to let me know or let the coach know, or you're going to dance. We got to decide what we're going to do. And she was like, I really want to play, but they're not going to let me because I'm not going to make the practice. I was like, no. The question is, do you want to play? If so, we'll figure out a way and at least talk to the coach. Right. All they can do is say no. But instead of saying, yeah, I want to play, but they're not going to let me. No, we're not doing that. Let's go find out for sure.
Right.
Have you noticed kids do that these days? They always assume, no, it's not going to work out, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Have you noticed this?
Oh, yeah.
I've noticed it from a lot of kids that I talk to. So anyway, the walkthrough is done. I go to the coach's office, and I said, Coach, my name is Chad East. My daughter is Lucy Rose East, who has played soccer her whole life, and I want to tell you about our situation. He was like, I was waiting for you to come talk to me.
All right.
So he had already heard that Lucy wanted to play.
Right.
And so I was like, our situation is we dance 3 to 4 days a week, 4 hours a day after school. We'd have a hard time making all the practices and the games, but my wish would be, if we can, just so she can be a part of the team. Maybe she just works out when she can work out. She don't even have to be on the team. Maybe she can just work out with you. And he was like, I'll do you one better. If she can make it to the practices, let her come to the practices. If she can't, no biggie. But we want her on the team. Because he worried if she missed 1 year, she may never come back.
Right.
So what has happened has been pretty wonderful. She's no dancing on Tuesday, but soccer practice start right after school, 3:00 till 4:30, where her dance doesn't start till 4:15. So I pick her up at 4. We go straight, and so she misses 15 minutes of practice. Then we go straight to dance, drop her off, and then she dances till 8:15, which that's a long-ass day.
Heck of a schedule.
But this is what she wants to do.
Sure.
And so she's getting to play. We played.
She enjoying it?
She's loving it.
Great.
Loving it. She's part of a team. They're playing, like yesterday, they played a Charlotte school, Charlotte Latin. Is that right?
Yeah, they're Charlotte Latin.
And she played the whole game. This team was way more skilled, but Hickory, as always, for the last 30 years, we're a bunch of scrappy. You know, Hickory High soccer teams have been scrappy. Not as skilled as some of the Charlotte teams, but we got a little bit of dog in us, and that's what they showed last night. So 0-0 with 1 minute to go. Some girl kicks one from about 30 yards, barely over our keeper's head into the net. We lose 1-0, but they gained a lot of confidence from it. So Anyway, she got to play on the big field where we used to play growing up before the soccer field they have now. Yeah. So we played on the turf, and it was just a great experience to see her out there on the same field I played on many moons ago. Yes. So anyway, that's what's going on there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, this past week, Grandview had a dance, and you've experienced Grandview dances.
Of course.
Right?
Yes.
Well, it's funny because Grandview, as much pride in everything that the kids have and the teachers have, there's just not a whole lot of familial support, I'll say, right? And maybe that it can't be, right? So Harris couldn't go to the dance, but I said that I'd chaperone.
Okay.
So I went and I chaperoned it, and I had to regulate pizza and soda, because you get one slice and whatever.
Yep.
But we had kids dressed up. We had kids dressed down.
And when you say dressed up, I mean, we're like full,
vest,
to the nines. Yes.
Vest, ties.
I've seen them. I did it last year.
Yeah,
incredible.
ties and vests and
looking
dresses.
Looking great.
And then we had, everything from what kids wear to school, sweatpants and sweatshirts and everything else. But the thing that I saw the most is the teachers out there dancing and having a good time, making the kids want to dance.
Yeah, sure.
And it was a lot of fun. But I'll tell you, Chad, I was walking after my duties in the Pizza Hut. I had to walk to the gymnasium, and while I was walking, a young man stopped me.
Yeah.
And he said, "Hey, I love your podcast."
This is unbelievable.
So we have reached, I don't know what this young man's name is. I'm going to have to ask Harris. Harris will know. But there's an 8th grader at Grandview that, first of all, came up to me, and congratulations, young man. Hey,
Incredible.
look, come up, say what you had to say,
Yeah.
and said that he was a big fan of ours. And so we're reaching the youth.
If we can really break into this middle school, these cliques in the middle school,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we're onto something there.
Yeah.
I mean, should we start focusing our topics based on middle school
I was going to say,
stuff?
does this tell you what our material is like? I don't. The only problem with that is we have to make sure that our content is useful.
Yeah, of course.
in that
Of
But it was
course.
great. I want to give a shout out to that young man. Thank you for coming out. That was great.
Oh, that's
It
awesome.
was
Made
good.
you feel really good, I'm sure. So, and I know you're going to out. Everybody says I'm full of bull here, but
You're full of it.
I'm kind of a Grandview legend. All right. So listen to this.
Oh,
I
my
mean, this
gosh.
is no bull. All right. So my 8th grade year, I was student body president of Grandview Middle School, right? And that's when we were at the old location. Well, under my governmental rule, when I was, the president, I was like, it would be a great idea to create this thing when a student does really good for a week or a month, they get a pass to go into the Eagles Nest. And what the Eagles Nest was a room off of the lunchroom where you could listen to music, watch TV, hang out with your friends, but only for the students that, the teachers would nominate to go to the Eagles Nest. So I created the Eagles Nest. When they moved Grandview to the new location, guess what they brought along with them, Hank? The Eagles Nest.
There's no talk of the Eagles Nest
Now
anymore.
now it's gone.
No,
but when it first came
yeah,
back,
yeah,
it was there.
There we
The
go.
other thing under my my government, my rule, under my thumb,
under your rule.
under my rule,
Oh, yeah,
when
yeah.
I was the president,
Doesn't sound like a
we
good.
brought the 8th grade dance back. So it was gone for many moons, and then it was the year that
You brought vending machines.
Michael
and-
Jackson. No, I did not bring vending machines. Michael Jackson, he was #1 on the charts with that album Bad. Do you remember?
Do I remember
that?
Bad?
Yes, that was my 8th grade year. And so it was, what's that DJ that's been around forever?
Joe Bunn.
No, in Hickory.
Oh, yeah,
He's
the
probably
guy-
like
yeah,
90
yeah,
years
yeah.
old now.
He got smoke
He got
and-
bubbles
and
coming out of
bubbles.
his. Yes.
Yeah, what is his name?
Anyway, he was Sid the Surf.
Sid the Surf.
He was there, and it was like dun 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 dun. Dun. Michael Jackson song that started. He was like, "Chatties to the dance floor, please. Chatties to the dance floor." So I had to get my mom and dad were chaperoning. I had to get in the middle of the circle, which I've been known to do.
Were you
Which
still
I've been
the
known to.
shy little guy?
No, not in 8th grade. So shy little guy was 6th and 7th grade. 8th grade, come on out of my shell, brother.
Okay.
Coming out of my shell. So I get in the middle and I grab this girl and I twirled her in the middle and I was dancing, and the memories I have it, because I know I didn't do Michael very good. I don't know. It wasn't my best event.
Yeah.
My mom and dad were looking. I couldn't do on my pelvic thrust. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't bring out all the stops
All
because
the
mom
stuff?
and dad are there
Yeah. Yeah,
chaperoning.
yeah.
But that's the reason why Harris had a Grandview dance, is because of me back in 8th grade. I brought it back
Anything
home.
you want to take
Yeah.
credit for, I'll give it to you, buddy.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. Well,
You are-
was he disappointed that he missed it? Because it is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big. It was a lot of fun. They had like 90 some kids there.
Awesome.
So it was a lot of fun. I was happy to be a part of it.
So were they selling pickles? Because last time I was there for the dance, they had the pizza and they had the Coke. Everybody's limited to a slice, right?
Yep.
But they were selling pickles on the
Oh
side.
yeah, they sold the pickles.
Gosh, I
we,
love
we,
those things.
we sold a bunch of stuff there, and you know the funny thing is middle schoolers when they know they're not doing something right, they don't they can't hide it. And so I had pizza on a table, and I knew everybody, I was checking faces like IDs
Right.
when people would come up, and you'd have a boy come up and he'd be like, do, 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 do. And he'd go to grab one, and I'd be like, wait a minute, bud, you already have one. And he'd be like, yeah. And he'd walk off. And so, they don't sell it really good, but which is great. Cause but you did see a lot of genuine, emotion out there. So it was a ton of fun. I think everybody had a great time.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
it's a good event. Thanks, Chad.
Yeah,
for all that you
it's,
did for Grandview.
Whatever I can do to help the kids, I'm here for the kids. I'm
Yeah.
here for the children.
I went to College Park. We never lost the dance, and we had the tornado nest, and we had all that stuff.
Oh, it's hilarious. Okay, good. All right, buddy. So the other thing I wanted to mention, and actually this is because of you, bring out the old racquetball racket, right?
yeah.
It's been in a closet for 18 years. No, 13 years, because I quit playing when I tore my knee up. So 13 years, no racquetball. Back out there playing. You and I just played a little while ago at lunch.
Yep.
How you think I'm doing? Because now that you've been playing a lot longer than me now, right?
Yeah, I think the thing that is just tough is, you're nervous on the court because you got, first of all, not you, I'm saying in general, people are nervous on the court when you first start back.
Because you don't even know what to do.
You don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And you just got some big people out there wailing away.
Sure.
So I think you're great, Chad.
Oh, thanks, Hank.
I think
That's what I needed.
Out of the 4 people there, I think you're the 4th best person there. So thanks for coming out to us. But I mean,
it's my pleasure. It is fun, though.
The strategy of that game is just so fun. Like, hitting it off the top of the wall to make you move back, and we played with some really good guys, so it's fun. It's a different type of exercise.
It is. It's more of a workout than tennis.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, big time.
Definitely.
Yeah, I guess because maybe you're moving quicker and stopping, and anyway, it's just a lot better cardio, I would think, than tennis.
Yeah, I love that the last time you came out there was the first time you had your racket out in a long time, and your grip was 20 years old, and after you got done, shreds of your grip were all over your hand. It was discolored.
Look,
it was awful. Look at this. It's awful.
So gross.
Yeah, it was terrible.
So Greg, one of the guys we play with, did say he's telling me what racket to buy. So I'm getting a new racket. So next time, watch out. If I have new technology, forget it. With this level of talent, with this new technology, Hank, just might as well clear off the court.
Hopefully someday you'll be the 3rd best on the court.
That's my goal. So what else is going on in your world, Hank? It's been about 3 to 4 weeks since we had our last podcast, and I did hear some really, really great things about our last podcast, but they missed us. So what else we need to talk about today?
Well, I think we definitely need to talk about basketball.
Yes.
At this point of the year, we're watching the ACC and college basketball come to the end. This is the last week of regular season basketball.
That's right.
Carolina Duke, which
Saturday.
Even if you're not, you're obviously a state grad, you still pay attention to Carolina Duke.
I never miss that game.
Yeah, even if Carolina's won and Duke's 30, it's still an important game, a good game. So we've got that going on coming to the end. We've got March Madness, or the ACC tournament. All the tournaments. And then we have March Madness.
Yes.
So I expect the next time we come back, we're going to hear a little bit about your beach trip that you had with your buddies. And we're going to talk a little bit about my mountain trip that I had with my high school buddies.
That's right.
Sometimes we go to the beach together.
Yes.
Sometimes not.
Right.
So last 2 years we've done the mountains, you've done the beach, obviously. So we'll have that to look forward to. But right now what's going on is Hickory High basketball. Right?
Yes.
So you guys ever win anything when you were there?
No, we were
not very good.
We were not really. We made the playoffs in football 1 year, and 2 years. Early exit 1 year, and maybe one round. Basketball, nothing. Soccer, we were good, but
so we're 30-0.
Yes.
Now Hickory High is. We're through the 3rd round. We have the 4th round on Friday against Southwest Guilford, who apparently has 3 really good basketball players.
Yes.
And then if we can get through that, the matchup is next Tuesday.
Yes.
Against Central Cabarrus.
Right. And Lawrence Joel Coliseum, I hear.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So I went last night to the game, and they were tested early, but it was more along the lines of they didn't play well. They just didn't play well. And it was, a 10-point ball game. They ended up winning by 28. But that's what you need out of a team is to get kind of in the trenches a little bit and figure out, hey, we may not be as good if we don't work as hard. But, it's going to be interesting to see. I'm excited to see them, and hopefully they can win a couple more and find themselves in the finals and have a chance.
Think about the run of Hickory High School athletics this year and last year. We got a state football championship. We had a tennis championship last year. Soccer won 2 years ago, made it to the finals this year.
Yep.
The girls' soccer team is fabulous. And now we have an undefeated men's basketball team in the same year?
Yeah.
This is wild.
Did you hear about the kicker for Hickory? Braden McCourt is his name.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Really nice family. Always, love talking to his family.
Sure.
But he is the kicker for the football team, and he plays soccer too.
Yeah.
And the year that they won it, I think they won 1-0, and he had the game-winning score. Okay.
Wow.
He played defense that year. He had the game-winning score. So fast forward to the next year, his sophomore year, they played in the finals in soccer, and they lost.
Right.
A month later, they were in the state finals for football, and he won.
Yes.
He's He's played in 3 state finals in 14 months.
Unbelievable.
How, unrealistic is that?
Crazy. Is he sophomore?
He's a sophomore.
Oh my gosh.
So, I mean, I'm sure he's expecting.
This podcast is sponsored by Jackson Creative, a custom communication agency located in downtown Hickory, North Carolina, specializing in online content creation. To learn more, visit thejacksoncreative.com. Jackson Creative, we tell your story.
8 state championship runs up until then. And I hope he does.
I hope he does too.
I hope he does.
Did you ever, when you were in high school, did you ever have a really good run, like baseball? Did y'all have a team that
we lost in the first round, I think, every year.
Every year.
And one year we didn't even make it. So, no, we were never like one of those teams at Hickory that freaked out.
So in 1996, I believe, is that right?
Yes.
That's when they had the run
championship.
championship of football, and then they made it to the finals of basketball as well, right?
Yep.
They lost. So very similar. Hopefully, this year they'll get it done. But it will be hard because I heard Central Cabarrus,
tough.
5 D1 athletes. 2 of them might be going to Carolina, is what I heard. Unbelievable.
Guilford's going to be good on Friday.
Yeah, so let's don't get Let's
not
don't get ahead of ourselves.
That's going to be a tough one.
Let's take care of some business at home on Friday,
right?
And then we'll worry about the other what comes to
Tuesday.
follow on Tuesday. We'll worry about that then. But anyway, it's an exciting team to watch.
Yes.
Our Hickory High School Red Tornadoes, they get up and down. They pressure the ball defensively to try to create turnovers, get a couple easy buckets, and they can jump out of the gym, dude.
Out of the gym.
They're so athletic. It's crazy.
Could you imagine? So last night I was watching a guard for Piedmont, and he was probably 5'9", 5'10". He wasn't like super big, but he's point guard, which, that's a high school point guard.
Sure.
Now Southwest Guilford's point guard is 6'5" and is a bull, right?
My goodness.
Now, I would say probably our best defender, one of our best, is Isaiah Littlejohn, who's 6'5", long,
lean,
super athletic.
Yep.
Could you imagine? I'm putting you on this.
Okay.
You're getting thrown in the ball on your side of the court, and 6'5", as fast, more athletic guy guarding you. I mean, that's like a center. That's what you see in the NBA.
That's
and
tough.
I think we scare a lot of people because of that.
So I was sitting first round game with Matthew Pitts. He was sitting beside me. He was a Hickory High School alum and actually played basketball for 2 years for Hickory High. And so we were watching it, and just to see how athletic. And I remember watching Hickory High when I was a junior and Matthew was a senior. I just wanted to see what he said. And I was like, y'all are about as athletic as this team right back in 1990.
That's a slap in the face, dude.
And he thought about it. He was like, no, not even close. I was like, good answer.
Good answer.
But they did have some really good athletes back then too. But it just seems like the level of athlete nowadays, just not at Hickory, but everywhere, it's a different level of athlete.
Different level.
You were just talking to me about this one kid.
Yeah, there's kids in every sport, not just in
course.
but there's kids in every sport that hit the genetic lottery.
Yes.
They work their tail off. Their nutrition is thoughtful. Everything is thoughtful, and it's creating this. And with social media, it's probably creating a little bit of anxiety for the normal kid to be like, how in the world can I compete?
Exactly. What am I
It's
supposed to
different
do?
stages. Right. People have hitting puberty and not hitting puberty. You're not. There's plenty of players that aren't 6'5", 220 in the Major League Baseball or whatever.
Sure.
So I think it's kind of funny because every sport has these phenoms, and they certainly get a lot of the attention.
Yes.
Certainly get a lot of the attention. So we're hopeful Hickory High will continue to move on.
Yeah, I hope so too, man. So, there's just an interesting thing that, we talked about briefly before we got into the studio today. And, back in the day, I used to watch a lot of movies, remember? And some of the movies that I would watch, specifically if a new superhero movie came out, this is probably about 10, 12 years ago, right around the Spider-Man and the Iron Man craze.
Yeah.
I would rush to the theater to see it by myself on a Tuesday, or X-Men. I was big into that.
I didn't even like the X-Men.
Really? I loved it.
I love Marvel. I love all the Marvel stuff.
Yeah.
Avengers.
Yes.
Big.
Yes. So, me too. But I'm almost 50 years old, Hank.
God.
I know, kidding. I have kind of matured out of superhero movies.
You haven't.
I haven't gone to see a movie in the movie theater, superhero movies, since
Godzilla.
He's not a super. I guess you could call him he would classify as a superhero, but like
Mothra.
one of the superhero in at least 5 years. So my point is, a couple superhero movies have come out in the last 3 months that have been the biggest bombs of all time superhero stuff. Aquaman 2 came out. Bust.
Right.
There's a movie called The Marvels. It's all chicks and they like fly around. Complete bomb. But the biggest bomb of them all happened 2 weeks ago. The movie's called Madame Web. So it's a Spider-Man series. All girls that have these different powers. Sydney Sweeney. Do you know who Sydney?
Oh, I've heard all about her.
She's in it.
Okay.
And so maybe that's why I watched the trailer about 28 times. However, it got like a 2 on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever. And I think 12.
2 webs?
Yeah, 2 webs. And I think 12 people total went to go see it in the theater. So I was thinking about all this stuff. And, there was a villain in this movie that,
The Orchid Man.
Just that you would never remember. It was like a normal dude. Yes, like the exterminator. Exterminator. Yeah, normal dude. I was like, so it made me think. Back in the day, all of the villains of superhero, like there have been some real awesome ones. Like obviously the Joker.
Yeah,
he's the number one villain to everybody. And like Superman's nemesis, Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor.
Badass dude, right? Just so wonderful. So I started going through the list, and I've brought up a few other ones. You've got Magneto. He's the X-Man. You got Bane. Remember?
Bane,
You got Two-Face. The Penguin, right? So going through them all, and I was like, this might be kind of corny, but my favorite of them all was the Riddler. And so I always could imagine myself, as a villain, as the Riddler. And I would say, if you were the superhero, you're Batman, and I'm the Riddler, I'd be like, hello, Hank, riddle me this. Look, I'm looking at you. Riddle me this.
You're like a serpent.
And I would have a list of riddles.
You'd have to write them down.
No,
I think the Riddler.
in my mind.
No, you made it sound like you had a list in your hand because the Riddler would be prepared. I'd imagine.
Course. So if I was this villain and I was the Riddler, this is one I would ask you. Riddle me this, Hank.
All right.
What's red? No. What's black and white and red all over?
A page in a book.
A newspaper. See, so those are the riddle. And so every time you don't get it right, or
You
if
kill
miss
somebody?
I kill someone.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I don't want any
So,
part of that.
yeah, you ready for another one?
I guess.
Okay, here's
Is it
another
as bad
one.
as that
so
one?
right now, yes. So if you're one people dead right now already,
Okay,
you missed
well-
out. So one person dead. Let's CJ. CJ's dead right now.
CJ's dead. I'm going to keep going. Wait, can you tell me who it is and who the person is that
this
dies?
next one, we're going to say this is Michael Banks.
Michael
All right,
Banks.
Michael Banks. Okay. During morning time, well, first of all, riddle me this.
It's so stupid.
During morning, I walk with 2 legs. In the afternoon, I walk with 3. And in the evening time, I walk with 4 legs. Who am I?
Who am I?
This is for Michael's life. I mean, I want you to think in morning time.
Don't say this. You're fouling me up here. 2 legs in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and then 4 in.
No, I screwed this up. Sorry. In the morning, I walk with 4 legs.
Oh God!
In the afternoon, I walk with 3. No, shoot. It's 4 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 3 in the evening. What am I, Hank?
I don't know. I don't even know if this is right.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
Because think about when you grow up, when you're a baby, in the morning part of your life, you're crawling on 4 legs.
This is the dumbest riddle I've ever heard.
Afternoon, midlife for a man, you're walking on 2 legs. But as you get older, Hank, in your the night of your life,
Yeah.
The end,
Yeah.
you walk with a cane. That's 3 legs.
Yeah, so it would be
4, 2, 3. That's what I said at the end.
2,
I know.
3, 4.
I screwed it up.
Our
I screwed-
producer is having to beat these riddles.
What? Oh, here we go. What walks on 4 legs in the morning, 2 legs in the afternoon, 3 legs in the evening, and no legs at night?
This is not Halloween. Let me just you riddle.
It's the riddle of the Sphinx.
You did this riddle.
Yes.
And you made it sound like it was a 24-hour deal. But then you go deeper into life and everything else.
Well, I mean, that's how riddles work, Hank.
Okay.
Okay.
You're a terrible superhero.
Do I need to give? So
villain.
Michael's dead. CJ's dead. Are you ready to risk
anyone's.
Are you ready to risk Greg Skook?
Oh,
you want to risk
I'm going
Greg
to fight
Skook?
for that guy's life.
Okay. Riddle me
Oh,
this.
gosh.
What is the difference between a teacher and a train?
A teacher and a train.
A teacher and a train. Time's up. The teacher says spit out the gum. The train says chew, chew.
You're no longer allowed on the podcast, Chad. You're no longer allowed.
Riddler strikes again.
You're no longer allowed on the podcast.
All right,
So I think the first one I would have
Go ahead.
saved CJ's life because I said a book.
Okay, it was
and-
close.
Right.
CJ, all right, he's just half dead.
He's
All right, half
injured.
dead. He's injured, yes. Torn ACL. But Michael and Greg are now officially gone. So, how about your favorite villain? Who did you like the best?
Well, you talked about Lex Luthor. I like Lex Luthor. He was great. And if you actually like guys that you were not scared of, but the guy that you're like, hey, if he gets involved, this is trouble.
Yeah.
Thanos was that dude.
Oh,
I mean,
gosh.
who would have thought that you could? I mean, they had to go to all ends of the world to deal with that guy. But Poison Ivy wasn't bad to look at. I might put on some lotion every once in a while if I got stung by Poison Ivy. But I wouldn't mind her chasing after me if I was a superhero.
I might have to get kidnapped.
I
I
know.
might have to lose that battle. Yes,
But the Joker, I mean, how can you go wrong with the Joker? He is sadistic and evil and terrible and
best villain of all time.
I will tell you though, I saw a hilarious cartoon. It was a meme the other day, and it was the cartoon, and it was Batman laying on a bed, and then there was Superman and another guy standing over him, and they were lip syncing, like they were saying what he was thinking, like instead of what they were saying, it was like they're talking over him. And it was pretty much Superman was calling out Batman that he was just a rich man in a costume, and he needed to stop pretending that he was a superhero.
Okay.
Have you seen this?
No, I have
I'll
not.
show it to you afterward.
Yeah.
It's hilarious
Sure.
because it ended up, you really started to think, Batman is just a rich dude in a costume.
He's got some cool weapons and tools, but he's got no real superpower.
He doesn't have anything.
Yes.
He's got Wayne Manor.
He's just got cash.
He just got cash.
Got cash to buy
Yep.
all these wonderful gadgets.
That's
Yeah.
exactly
Superman's
right.
got a point there.
He does have a point. He does have a point there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So, Hank, before we end this podcast today on this rainy Wednesday, March the 6th, live, coming at you live, anything else we need to talk about before we get out of here today, buddy?
I don't think so. I mean, I think that I'm excited about spring. We got baseball coming up.
Sure.
Got yard work coming up, which
Yard work, of course,
I'm not really excited about that. But I'm glad we're not a political show, nor are we going to make a political show. But the primary being over yesterday, it's just amazing to me how our planet our country just explodes over politics. And
Hot topic.
I'm kind of not looking forward to, and I'm not saying this either side or any candidate. I'm just not looking forward to between now and November to have to endure all of the junk that comes with this election. So let's just put our head down, get to the end.
It's going to be brutal.
It's going to be awful.
It's going to be
gonna be
terrible. But again, yeah, I kind of don't really discuss much politics because I've got buddies
On both sides. Sure.
And because I'm kind of in the middle, I really am. If I say one thing to this one fella, well, it might set him off, and I know it'll set this other fellow off. So I just kind of keep my mouth shut a lot, right?
Smart.
Yeah, I think that's a smart way to handle many of these political topics.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, before we leave, let's pick something, Hank. So the next time we come together, it will be second coming of Starch Madness. So you just get ready for that. Starch
love
Madness right around the corner. I had the opportunity to pick 4 teams that I thought would cut down nets. No points for Final Four, no points for Sweet 16. You get to pick 4 teams that I think that can win the whole thing. And if so, and other people, and I'm in a group of 100, and
Right.
if you get the winner, you split up this pot. So here's who I chose.
Baylor.
Is that a sleeper for you?
I like Baylor.
I kind of like Baylor a little bit too. I will give you a couple of sleepers, but here's who I chose. I had UConn. They're kind of the favorite. Houston, kind of the favorite. Then I took Tennessee. You know, I took Tennessee.
Connecticut's got a freak.
I know, but see,
He could.
that's what I'm saying. He can. Like, he can go get his bucket whenever he wants to. So I have UConn, Houston, Tennessee in my fourth, which we'll see. Kansas. Kansas has a point guard. Really good. Doesn't score, but really good leader. They have the big who came from Michigan, and they've got a wing scorer. Plus, they have Bill Self, and he has been there before.
And a phenomenal coach.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I did leave out, I almost put Carolina in there because I think Carolina can make a run. They got the big, they got the point guard. Hubert Davis has made it to a finals before. What do you, I mean, you know, you're a Carolina fan. Give me, if you had four, would you put them in there?
This is why I liked Baylor. Baylor plays in a pretty tough conference.
Very tough.
You know, I mean, they've got game in, game out. They're going to be tough. ACC's not real strong this year.
They're bad.
So, you know, Carolina has not played stellar competition, and that's where they come in as a 2, and the next thing you know, they face an 8 in TCU or something like that, and TCU's been playing these big teams and having a tough time. So I think it's tough for me to say that they're going to be there because I don't think that they've been to the hard. You know, they're going to get surprised. They're going to get surprised. I like all the guys, but I like Baylor too because I think Baylor has the ingredients like you're talking about to be in it.
Yeah. I just know it's going to get very, very exciting here, Hank. So we're regular season ends Saturday. ACC tournament kicks off next week. And then we go to March Madness the following week. We're leaving on Thursday the 20th, I believe is the date, to go to the beach. You're going to the mountains on the same date? Or
Yes. Yeah. I think our friend Michael and I are leaving Friday morning, first thing in the morning, just because we've got games for our kids on Thursday. But
Michael's dead. You know, you lost the Riddler, took his life a few segments ago. So Michael,
got to drive.
You got to drive by yourself. No, I'm sorry.
Oh man. So going Friday morning, but some of the buddies are going up Thursday night.
Okay.
And then coming back Sunday.
Always a fun trip.
You know, it's kind of like, you know, outside from where you guys are going, you actually could go to a place to watch it and everything else. Where we're going, they're in very much around you.
So you just hole up at the house, get it on the tube there, and just have a time.
Yeah. And you know what? Funny thing is the house that we're going to is a friend of ours. Good friend of ours, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he has a TV in there as of like a month ago. And that was like one of the big requirements. You better get something in there soon.
Yes.
So this whole thing could change if that it does not have TV.
You might
a good
have,
TV.
You might be driving down to the Applebee's about 30 minutes down the road. You know,
I'll do
Gotta
it.
have a TV. Yeah, we're excited because the place we're going, we can walk to. There's all these bars right there, and so we can pop in here, watch the first round of games, listen to a little music next door here, then pop and watch the next group of games. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to it. We've been doing this trip now for almost, I guess, since 1998. How many years is that? That's a lot of years.
That's a ton of years.
That's a lot of years. So anyway, the tradition continues. My friend Hank, so glad to be back in the studio with you. To our listening audience, we won't postpone our podcast because we've missed 3 in a row, right? We're going to be more consistent with it. I know you all want this big fan, and we want to give it to you. Olivia is coming back from spring break from Florida. She's driving home. She should be home in a few hours, so we'll get to see her. She had a great time in Florida with her friends for her first spring break in college.
Awesome.
So get to hear all her stories. So anyway, it's going to be a good rest of the week, and I look forward to seeing you, Hank, on the tennis courts or racquetball courts sometime soon. And we'll look forward to talking to you, big fan listeners, in 2 weeks. Peace.
Didn't mind spending time underwater while the bees they came a buzzing.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.